Hello, fellow Hyruleians! I am your guide, the Hyrule Historian, and welcome back to the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker Randomizer, where today, or in this case, tonight, we will be exploring Windfall Island. This is actually towards the start of the game. However, there are things set up, such as the pirate ship, which is actually found during the middle of the game, and we are going to be pretty much collecting a handful of chests around Windfall Island. And because in the first episode we've actually collected a lot of rupees thanks to Beetle and Tingle out of all the people, and that means we are able to go to the auction house. However, to start off, this is Mia, I think. Now, she is one of the girls who was kidnapped by the Hamrock King, which she is starting to become more of a thief, which, if we start to follow her, we can actually get kind of a quick item. However, it's one of these small things that kind of takes a little bit of patience. And I feel like there are easier ways of doing this. It's just we can't get too close to her without giving our position away. And that's kind of one thing that I've kind of liked about Zelda, the Wind Waker, is because you actually get these little stealth missions from time to time. Where did she... I think she went down this way. Yeah, there she went. Okay, so now if we actually sneak up on her, there we go. I don't really think I can do a good voice for her, so you startled me. What do you want? My heart is racing. You scared me. That doesn't sound like... It just sounds like I'm just reading from a script. Let me try again. My heart is racing. You scared me. I feel like she would be more angry at some point, but yeah. Wait, are you the kind of... okay, why call me a creep, but okay. Are you the type of creep who goes around at night scaring people? That's just plain mean. Just who do you think you are, anyways? I am Blue, the ally of justice. An ally of justice? I'm not a thief. Then what are you? You're standing in front of a safe. You're sweating. You said your heart is racing. You're calling me a creep, so try to talk yourself out of this. So, yeah, this is one of the girls that the Hamrock King actually took to the Forsaken Fortress. She was actually one of the richest people on the island, and now is the poorest person. So, yeah, going to the Forsaken Fortress, and now also to turn her life upside down is that the poorest person on the island is now the richest. in which that family just believes if you're rich, that means you're mean. While this girl's father is actually trying to do some hard work, even though I don't think he's able to pretty much get any job on this island, sadly. So, okay. Yes, that is terrible. So she's pretty much just telling us the life story, and she's wanting us to let her go. But if we do that, she will continue to try to steal from this shop. I mean, at least you're apologizing, and yeah. I mean, she hasn't done anything yet. And we did all of that for a treasure chart. Amazing. So she is thanking us, and she's going to start doing an honest day's work. And I forget the man's name, but he's the guy that also does the auctions. And he's also the person who would normally give you the sell. But she's going to start working for him. And during the night, she's going to work around at a faraway island, which isn't that far away. I think it's just slightly up north, to the point where we cannot go to since it's slightly out of Hyrule. Also, an easier way to do that mission is just to run back here and then just wait for her to cross the corner of your eye. But yeah. So now it is time for us to do the auction. Now, this is actually one of the more funner things, I think, when it comes to Wind Waker. And here's the guy right here. So, good evening. Yes, yes. Whoa, there went a lot of text that just went flying by. I feel like that's one thing about the randomizers that you need to be careful with, is that it allows the text to instantly pop up, where you don't have to continue to wait for like half a minute just to wait for all the text to show up on screen. And it also skips quite a few things as well, so especially when it comes to certain cutscenes. So yes, we want to enter this auction. So yeah, it kind of just skipped a small cutscene there, showing us the people that we are going against. So let me thank all of you for coming out tonight and participating within this auction. And this auction is about to begin, so let's see what the item is. This is going to be exciting. I can't wait. And the auction item is another treasure map. How much will this treasure map be? Because when it comes to the auctions, we have a 80 rupee item, a 60 rupee item, 40 rupee item, and I believe a 5 rupee item. So this one is the 60 rupee item. Now, when it comes to the items, some of these you can skip and some of them you cannot, which makes us kind of have to waste our money on a handful of things. But I'm actually going to skip this auction, and we are going to see if it gives us another item in return, since normally all you have to do is leave the auction house and re-enter it. So that's normally what happens. I know it happens in the HD version of Wind Waker, but for the randomizer, I think it's back and forth. So sometimes you have to buy the item, and sometimes you can just exit and re-enter. So a new item is up for auction. And the item is a Tingle statue. Who really wants a Tingle statue? That's a good question. So, we already seen the 60 rupee item, which was a treasure chart. How much is the Tingle statue? It is the 40 rupee. So, I feel like I'm just going to go ahead and get this one, since it will allow us to get an item once we collect all the Tingle statues. And yeah. So this is just pretty much straightforward. The good thing is, if you know how to work this, you can do about 15% more, or about 15 to 20 rupees. So I'm actually going to go to 60 rupees, and it should stun everyone for about 15 seconds, which in return I will speed up the process. And in return, the best thing to do is to fill up half of your meter. Also, if you're not careful, the meter will slowly rise and you will have to start bidding once again. But you also have to be careful, because they will start doing a chain bid and you will have to start paying a lot more. I can't believe I'm doing this, but 105 rupees for the Tingle statue. I may be bidding a little bit more than I need to, but I'm not really sure what to do. I mean, at least if we do collect them this early on in the series, they will be out of the way. We started off good for the first episode, and yeah. I mean, if you really think about it this way, since Tingle gave us some money, he's pretty much helping us pay for his own statue. Which, where did he get all the gold to make these statues? And how did they become in each dungeon? Which was their original place? I'm not really sure. And thankfully, I noticed that just in time. 3 seconds left. And we just bought ourselves the Tingle statue, which Tingle owes us. The Earth Tingle statue. For 135 rupees. That is 135 rupees spent on a useless item. And that's one thing that I've been meaning to talk about, is that with this chart, we have the items that will help us move forward, and then we have the useless items. Which, well, the Tingle statue is one of them. There's a few more things that we can do during the nighttime on Windfall Island, which I feel like I'm going to be doing a little bit more on here, since a lot of the time that we are going to be spending is just through the auction house, and I feel like part of this video has already been sped up, so now it's time to talk to this guy. Turf, I believe is his name. Okay, Tot. I I don't know where I got turf from, but I was close, I guess. So this is the guy who would normally teach you the Song of Passing. Which, now thinking about it, it's kind of sad since a lot of people believe that this is a tombstone. So, yeah. I mean, there it is right there. But all we have to do is pull out the Wind Waker now. And oh. Oh. Cha. Oh. Oh. Cha. Oh, oh, cha. Oh, oh, cha. Sure, we'll go with that. Okay, so now... Now the thing is, though, since we already have the song, we actually can get another item. Which, in this case, it's the submarine chart. Which this is going to help us a lot to find the submarines. And he is going to continue standing here and hoping that the magic actually works. But now, to the pirate ship, where we must go through a challenge, which normally this would be where we would get the bombs at, towards the middle of the game. However, who knows what will be within this chest? I'm trying to think what I was going with. One of the things I've been replaying lately has been Mario Sunshine, and when it comes to the depth perception in that game, I feel like a lot of things could be worked on. And playing through this game a little bit, I feel like some of those things have been carried over on Wind Waker. Since there's slightly like the lighting and the shading. So let's see if we can actually make it in time. There we go. First try. And our item is 200 rupees. Amazing. And the funny thing is, these rupees, which used to be in older games as well, was only 5 rupees at the time. And random key items, if any of you kind of played Mario Galaxy, they're like the little silver stars that you collect from time to time that opens up the next path or gives you a key. So there are two more places that we will be heading to, and one of them is up here above the auction house, which we will see Maggie, which is the other person who was kidnapped by the Humrock King, and as well as her greedy father. Which this guy right here, he is speaking of the postman, which, as we did not see the cutscene, there was a postman in here, or a Rito, which was trying to deliver Maggie a letter, and that letter could not be delivered because of this guy did not want Ritos within their house because he's just that type of person. So Link, or Blue in this case, has to come over here and help her. Now, this was also the poor girl who has become rich, and she has also fell in love with a moblin. Yes, a moblin. and she wants to give her heart to him. She's seen him at the Forsaken Fortress, and it's pretty much love at first sight, and she is not seeing the full picture. So she's wanting us to deliver a letter, but who knows what she's really going to be giving us. And I do apologize for skipping several bits of this, but I feel like we need more of the... I feel like a lot of this is straightforward, since, I don't know, but she's talking about just for us to help her and see what we can do. And in return, we learned a song, which is the Wind God's aria. And that will actually help us a lot. But let's see, which one is it? So this is the one that would take us to the Wind Temple that we would have normally learned from Makar, the Korok. And so yeah. And it's also one of the more bigger songs. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is that with this song and the song that you would learn by the other ancient sage, is that you put both songs together and you got the title screen music. Now there is one more chest in here which we normally could not get, and it's actually down here where the auction house is. Oh, this is going to help. We just got the bait bag. And one good thing about the bait bag is that we can now start using the pairs, which we can have the seagulls collect certain items for us. Such as the place where we started at was where the Earth Temple is. And normally we would be able to get an item that sits on top of there. That was normally a piece of heart, I think. One last place to finish this off. We are going to talk to Salvador, which he pretty much runs a battleship minigame. And he's also seen on another island that we will be probably going to shortly, since some of this is just a few of the quick things that we can do and easy chests to collect, or prizes in this case. I always do like this guy. I feel like he's one of my more favorite characters within Wind Waker. It's that, or I just like Battleship. So I do actually hold a strategy here, and that is doing the corners first and hoping that luck is on our side. Then going more towards the middle, and it seems like this strategy is actually helping. But now comes the more difficult part. However, we just have to pretty much narrow it down by counting how many spaces is in between something, depending on depending on the squid or the octorok that you're actually looking for. Depending, because there's one that's 2, there's one that's 3, and there's one that takes up 4 spaces. So now we are looking for the one that takes up 4 spaces. So that means we need to use the cannon wisely. And they're normally close to one another, so hopefully we can get it without having to miss too many more. And there we go. And now that we know it's the fourth, the one that takes up 4 spaces, we just have to do that. And there we have it. I'm surprised that we actually got it the first time, since that game is based on luck, honestly. We have saved the island. Hooray! I feel like that's something else I like about Salvador, is that he's the more comedic character that brings more of a story. Thank you for the piece of heart. I will take it. Now, if we do this once more, we should be able to get ourselves an extra item. Since that's one thing about him, is that you would normally get 2 items from this minigame. However, I think it makes it slightly more difficult, but once again, strictly luck-based. I am so surprised that I'm actually... Because normally it would take me about 5-10 tries to just getting it. And now that I'm actually recording, it's like, well, here you go. And showing me that I'm not sure. But yes, now we will be able to get the treasure chart 23. No, treasure chart 22. My bad. So, I feel like that will pretty much do it for this episode, because we've been collecting a few of the chests, which I feel like the auction house could contain something more. And I feel like we've went through a lot of this that was much easier. And it's sad, but I have to collect that extra rupee, and yet it doesn't add to the counter. So for this entire episode that we've been doing all of this, I feel like the only good thing that probably came out of it was the song. Now, there are a few other things to do on this island, but I feel like I'm going to save those for another time. And yeah, so I mean, at that point, it's the killer bees, which is the bomber kids. There's the teacher. There's the short Pictobox missions, side missions that we can do. And I honestly forget what else. But anyways, we have spent the entire night on Windfall Island. So, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to leave a like or a comment below. It really does help. Also, don't forget to tell your friends about this. And this has been the Hyrule Historian, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and later.